The Anunnaki planet was considered to be Nibiru. However, Nibiru is not really the home of the Anunnaki. Sirius was. The name Anunnaki can mean many different things. Based on Hebrew interpretations, it is rich with meaning. An is short for Anaknu, which means we. Also means heaven. Naki means clean. So, the name can mean we are clean, and heaven is clean. They were tall, giant. In Hebrew the word for giants is Anakim. Their symbol is the winged disc, which represents their starships. These Anunnaki were later called the Elohim, and Nephilim. Those who descended, came down. Genesis 6:4 It is written, "The Lord said, My breath shall not abide in man forever, since he too is flesh, let the days be allowed him be 120 years. It was then, and later too, that the Nephilim appeared on earth, when the divine beings cohabited with the daughters of men, who bore them offspring. They were the heroes of old, men of renown." Enlil was first to come to earth and was there even before mankind was created. The Sumerian texts called mankind the black-headed people. If anyone doubts the location of Eden, or why it was chosen by the Anunnaki as a locale, please read on from Genesis. Then, before there was any rain, he formed man, from the dust of the earth. He blew into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living being. The Lord God planted a garden in Eden, in the east, and placed the man whom he had formed, and then all the other life forms came into being, water, animals, minerals. This is part of Earth's story and occurred after there already was life on Earth, hominid beings. Hominids are distinctly human-like creatures, different from apes or chimpanzees. The Anunnaki came to Earth. Some of their crafts had crashed in the process, for a haven for themselves, and found it rich with gold, copper, silver and other minerals. They felt that here was their last chance for longevity, survival, and the gold was the best conductor of energy which had many important uses. They mined gold for a very long time, hundreds of thousands of years. What, according to the Old Testament, happened? God said, "Now that the man has become like one of us, knowing good and bad, what if he should stretch out his hand and take also from the tree of life and eat, and live forever?" So man was banished from Eden to work the soil from which he was taken. Further on in Genesis, we read, "The Lord saw how great was man's wickedness on earth, and how every plan devised by his mind was nothing but evil all the time. And the Lord regretted that he had made man on earth, and his heart was saddened. The Lord said, I will blot out from the earth the men whom I created, men together with beasts, creeping things, and birds of the sky, for I regret that I made them." But Noah found favor with the Lord. "For my part, I am about to bring the flood waters upon the earth, to destroy all flesh under the sky in which there is breath of life. Everything on earth shall perish. But I will establish my covenant with you, and you shall enter the ark, with your sons." This ark was symbolic and literal, not only a ship, but a covenant. It is written, "He created mankind from his blood, imposed the toil of the gods on man, and released the gods from it." When Ea the wise had created mankind, had imposed the toil of the gods on them, that deed is impossible to describe. In both the Enuma Elish and Atrahasis the reason for creating man is the same, to relieve the gods of hard labor. Enki is lord of earth. In the early days on earth, Enki's symbol was the crescent moon. The crescent moon relates to science, measuring, the ocean's tides, Enki's specialties. In later years, the crescent moon developed another association. In other ancient mythology, Enki is known as Oan, Ta, Quetzalcoatl, even as his own son, Thoth. The Anunnaki discussed the possible consequences if they shared the gold, the process of alchemy, with the humans. Some of the Anunnaki, such as the Syrian leader, Enki, were in favor of letting humans be free and equal to them. Other Anunnaki were angry because of the blending of the two life forms and the continual complaints humans had to the Anunnaki. One of the Anunnaki leaders who had no patience for humans was Enlil. Enlil was the prince of heaven and earth. He was in charge of airspace. He was chief of the gods and lord of Sumer. Enki and Enlil were half-brothers through the same father, Anu, who was the leader of this Anunnaki group. They also had to contend with Marduk, one of Enki's sons, who was proclaimed the greatest king of the gods. In later years, the symbol of the crescent moon was associated with Nanasin, Enlil's and Ninlil's son, who Sinai was named for, and who became known as Allah. Note the symbol, with the star, is used in Islam and is directly related to Enlil's side of the family. This is proof of the Battle of Hebrews versus Islam, actually a terrible, nuclear war between the Anunnaki and the Hebrews took place in the Sinai, and at the Great Pyramid, for control over the region. Not long after the Exodus, the other Anunnaki left their earthly influence, and their secrets of transforming gold into the powerful substance that allowed their longevity and spiritual abilities also vanished. Their knowledge about life was held in the hands of very few who began to abuse it and became greedy. Then, in time, humans who remembered died or disappeared. A lot of knowledge was lost. And yet, people kept trying to capture that special essence of gold in the form of statues or other such items, mistakenly believing that power equated to violence and destruction and hoarding wealth. They felt it was their key to immortality, that which would make them the god. The Anunnaki left the earth, in a sense, but not without creating counterparts. Some of these continued the lineage through King David and Jesus. Some of these counterparts or aspects have stubbornly stuck to what they presume was Enlil's and Marduk's agenda to control the earth for their own purposes, keeping humans more fearful, dependent, ignorant. Yet, others continued to share the ancient wisdom from other Anunnaki, encouraging humanity to remember their source which they can access from within their individual and collective spiritual memories in order to break the ancient and false bonds of slavery, fear and ignorance and reclaim what they feel is rightfully theirs.